Hey y'all, whether it's morning, evening, or afternoon, I'm just glad that you guys had decided to vibe with E. Yes, the one and only E. Hey y'all, hope y'all are feeling amazing and doing amazing and just being amazing overall. And if not, it's okay. It's alright, my friend. Bad times don't last forever because after every storm, there is a rainbow, and you're getting closer and closer every day to that beautiful rainbow that you have been manifesting for. Okay? Hey y'all, hope y'all feeling amazing as always and doing amazing. And if you're not, it's okay, that's why we always have tomorrow. Cheers to the month of February as well as cheers to the month filled with love and Black history. I'm so glad that I'm able to be here with you guys to give y'all new vibes of the day as well as just sprinkling a lot of knowledge in your little brains and our little brains as well, because whew, we shock each other when we hear certain stuff, and it's like, oh, my little brain didn't know that. If you guys hear some rattling like of ice, I am sick. I'm gonna tell y'all why I'm sick. Friday that had just passed, I had went to the doctors to get a checkup and everything. And as you guys know, if you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. And for the ones that are not new to this but true to this, hey y'all, what's up, what's poppin'? Oh, excuse me. I work with children and I go to college. So I'm around children, younger and older adults. It's that season where everybody is getting sick. So little old me, silly little old me, excuse me, went to the doctors to get a checkup and everything. And I told them, yeah, I didn't get my flu shot. They gave it to me. My doctor was like, yeah, if you feel any pains or anything, meaning like my arm got sore, take a Tylenol and all that stuff. Okay. My arm really wasn't that tense, but it was tense, but not as much. So I was like, okay, this won't wear out. That night, I went to Virginia for my cousin's funeral. Like Friday night up to Sunday when I was down in Virginia, I was fine. Came home that Sunday, like afternoon. Yeah, it started to get me somewhat a little bit, but it didn't really boom until Monday. So it was really bad, y'all. So when y'all get these shots and stuff like that, let them know how things happen for you, like when you're sick, like what your body can take and what your body cannot take. Oh, because my body was very tense, very sore. Like my muscles were so tight. It felt like a car ran over me or somebody beat me up. It was mainly my body that was aching. My head, it was just like fine until like after the body aches, my head just was like, okay, it's getting a sinus infection now. And that's what I feel like I have right now. So if y'all decide to go to the doctors or whatever to get your flu shots, let them know what's gonna happen. Like with your body when things happen, like we get reactions to stuff, or ask them what might happen besides, your arm being sore. Y'all, the needles are so little now. I'm like, these little needles got powers because when they had the medium sized ones, this did not give that. These little ones got so much power in it. I don't know what it is. But also, too, y'all, I had got my blood drawing too, so I was like, my whole left arm was just messed up. But it is what it is. So, yes, y'all, I am under the weather, but I made sure it was my duty to still give y'all the vibe of the day in honoring of Black history as well as the month of love. The month full of love, because it's important, and I've been waiting for this. In February, we have a lot to look forward to, so I will be okay, guys. I'm breaking down, just being careful, breaking down what I can and cannot do. I'm moving around, so that's another thing too, because I don't want to be so stiff in the bed and things like that. Also, there will not be a video today because the lights are giving me a headache too. So lights give me a headache and things like that. And plus, y'all, I look super rough. I do not want y'all to see that. So there will be no video. So this is the first time out of the year. Hopefully it will not happen again for the year to come, like throughout the rest of the year, that you guys will not receive the video from me. But so far right now, for this first vibe of February, there will be no video due to me feeling and being under the weather and me looking like, ooh, you know, you're not even supposed to be doing this. But like I said, it's my duty. Y'all like it. I love it. So I'm pushing myself through because earlier, y'all, I couldn't do nothing. I couldn't do nothing. Like one day I couldn't do nothing. Like I was so bad, y'all, I couldn't sleep. My side, everything was so messed up. But that's neither here or there. Okay? So without further ado, guys, I want you guys to sit back, relax, and enjoy hearing my voice. Whether you want to go or just laying around, whatever the case may be, turn me up on your PCs, tablets, phones, radios, speakers, all that good stuff. Because as always, every vibe of the day is something special. Okay? So today's vibe of the day, in honor of Black History and the month of love, is celebrating unsung heroes. And what does that mean? So unsung heroes of Black history are individuals whose achievements and contributes have not received the recognition they deserve. They are often forgotten or overlooked in history, yet they have impacted their communities. So these goes for our heroes in Black history that we hear about but we don't know much about. And let me tell y'all who they are. Who are some lessly known figures in Black history, and what would their contributes? So we have some lesser known figures in Black history includes Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth, and Frederick Douglass. I picked those three because it took me until I went to HBCU, Morgan State University, their museum and everything, to learn more about these figures. Especially when it comes to Frederick Douglass. It took me until I came to HBCU to learn deeper information about them. And it's okay. Because like I say all the time, we are able to learn on our own and things like that. But if you're someone like me that loves going to the museum and just wanting to get a feel and insight of things, it'll take you like all day basically just to sit there and listen to the videos that they play videos at the museum or whatever they got going on, just to understand what's going on and why they're important. But I chose these three because they were important to me. We know about Harriet Tubman, but we don't know as much. We just know the basics, like, the Underground Railroad. Come on now. The movie, it pinpointed a lot of things too. But Sojourner Truth, I think they should make a documentary about her, because she did a lot too, as well as Frederick Douglass. But hey, I'm just the messenger. So, Tubman was a leader in the freedom movement and was known as the conductor of the Underground Railroad, helping slaves escape to freedom. Truth was a powerful voice and activist for women's rights. For women's rights. Douglass was a journalist, reformed, and activist who published his own autobiography detailing his experience as a slave. All three figures made significant and lasting contributions to the civil rights movement, and their legacies continue to inspire people today. Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth, and Frederick Douglass are remembered as the three of the most influenced people in the civil rights movement. They contribute in determination to stand up for justice and equality will never be forgotten. Harriet Tubman was the leader in the Underground Railroad. Sojourner Truth was a powerful speaker and advocate for women's rights, and Frederick Douglass was leading freedom fighters, and activists. All three of them were instruments in paving the way for civil rights movement, and their stories have been retold countless times to inspire and to motivate people to fight for justice and equality. Their legacies will live on for generations, and their stories will be told for generations. Their contributes in determination to stand up for justice and equality will not be forgotten.
How you feel?
Sorry y'all, that was my uncle. So where was we? Yeah, their legacies will be remembered forever, and their stories will be continued to serve as a reminder of the powerful of collective action. They will always be remembered for standing up and fighting for what is right. And like I said, these three figures were very important to me because when I transferred to Morgan State, in a museum that Morgan State has, they have like broken down the sections of them three and others as well. But those three stood up to me because also Frederick Douglass, me as a social work major, they always use him in some type of shape or form, as well as truth. So those two really stood out to me. And of course I had to add Harriet Tubman in there just because she was very important as well. So guys, that's a lot. There was a lot to break down. But that right there, I was like, this is very, very, very cool. And I feel like the listeners will like this because I like it. And, like I said, we're learning as we go. I'm learning as I go. But those are the three I really want to point. Those were the three I really wanted to point out because they were important to me. I could have did Dr. Luther King, Rosa Parks, and things like that. But let's change up the tempo for right now to just start out the month. Like, okay, let's do something different. Let's think about something else and things like that, So why not? So those three are very important to me, and I hope you guys learn a lot after we finish with today's vibe of the day. Y'all, I know y'all probably like, I don't know why E is on this daggone microphone and she's sick. But y'all, like I said, excuse me. Like I said, regardless of how I feel, I'm gonna make sure we get this vibe of the day. Like, y'all, I'm in my bed. Usually I'm at my desk. I'm at my bed. Cords is everywhere. So if y'all could only see the disaster that I had created for myself. But it is what it is. We're gonna get this done. We're gonna get this done. Okay. So what challenges did these unsung heroes overcome, and how did they impact their own communities? Well, I feel like, I don't want to say it's plain and simple, but it's very, very deeply and not broad. These unsung heroes face numerous challenges, including systematic racism, discrimination in the context of threat of violence. Harriet Tubman had to navigate through so many obstacles and just had to navigate through so many obstacles just to capture while leading others to freedom. So now Truth battled both racism and gender bias as she spoke out for women's rights and often faced in a lot of nasty comments, impacting, for her fighting for women's rights. As well as for Frederick Douglass, he risked his rights and often faced a lot of hostile and skeptical things as well. So, as well as Frederick Douglass risked his life to escape slavery, and later he confirmed as advocating for equal rights through his writing and his speeches. All of these individuals have paved the way for equal rights that make them one of a kind when it comes to the significance contributes to the civil rights movement and paved the way for the future generation. Excuse me. Their stories remind us the strength and courage of those who fought for justice. They showed that individuals can make a difference and that collaborative action can create a change. They inspired others to do the same and to stand for what they believe in. Their courage and determination will never be forgotten. Now, when it comes to the challenges that made them, who we know them are for today, it inspired me a lot because it's a lot as a African American person that has to fight for everything they believe in, has to fight for just the simplest stuff, but you have to fight for it. That you be like, why I have to fight for this? But it's like, when you think about our ancestors and the generations before us, they fought every day just for simple stuff that we think it's just so little, but it was so big because at one point in time we didn't have it. Especially why I chose Zornell Truth, because of women's rights. Women's rights is a real big deal, and a real big thing that we still fighting for today, just to make sure that we're getting and making sure that we're receiving, because that's one of the many things that we feel as though cannot be taken away, but sadly, someone will try to take it away from us, and that's not going to happen. So these three figures have paved the way for, how do I want to say it? They have paved the way for, displaying, displaying that fight for what you believe in and fight for what's important, and don't stop until you get the results that you want. At times it could be a headache. Yes, it can be a headache, but you got to keep on until you see your rainbow. You got to keep on fighting until you see the results that you've been waiting for and manifesting for, as well as seeing that this paid off, and this will not only impact you but the ones that are around you. So when were the individuals activists, and how did their actions shape history? Harriet Tubman, Zornell Truth, and Frederick Douglass was all impacted, of course, by the civil is impacted by this very important movement of helping others get to what they need in life, as well as when it comes to freedom of speech and things like that. Harriet Tubman was an activist before the civil rights. Truth was a leader in women's rights movement, and Douglass was a figure in the slavery and the anti. Okay, guys, I'm back. I had to sneeze and I felt it, and it was so bad. It was so bad. So, Frederick Douglass was a profound figure in the anti-slavery movement. Their actions caused an outpouring of support for the civil rights movement and inspired many to fight for justice and equality. Harriet Tubman's daring mission on the Underground Railroad helped free countless enslaved individuals and inspired others to join this cause. Zornell Truth, powerful anti-woman speech at the Ohio's Women's Rights Convention in 1851 challenged numerous supporters for both women's rights and everyone. Frederick Douglass' speech and writing, including his autobiography, Navigating of the Life of Frederick Douglass, an American Slave, brought national attention to honor of the slaves and influenced public options, contributing of slavery. Oh, excuse me. Their lasting impacts is evident in continue to fight for racial equalities and gender rights, as their stories and acts laid the groundwork for future advocates. Their courses and resentment, their determination serve as a source of inspiration for modern civil rights activists who drew up upon their legacy to address ongoing issues of discrimination and injustice. By highlighting the power of individuals and collective action, they remind us that the struggles for equality requires a lot of underway commitment as well as hope. Their courage and determination have lasting impacting on history, and their stories remind us as an inspiration to many. They are remembered today as icons of the fighting for freedom and equality, as well as it take place on where did these unsung heroes create changes and what was the significance of these locations. These heroes created changes through their peaceful protection and civil disobedience. The significance of these locations is that they serve as a reminder of power, of collective action, and the importance of standing up for what is right. They serve as symbols of hope and inspiration for the current generation. These locations are also reminded of the cost of fighting for justice and the importance of continuing the fight for equality. They are reminded of the power of the collective voice and resentment of the human spirit. They allow people to come together and to express their shared values. They are reminded of the power of collective action and the importance of standing up for what is right. The sites are also a reminder of significance made by previous generations and of what of those who fought insignificantly so much for justice and equality. They are a reminder of the power saluted and the importance of standing together in the face of adversity. Furthermore, they are symbols of hope, resistance, and the possibility of a better future. All in all, these historical sites are the testimony to the power of collective actions and a reminder of the importance of standing up for what is right. And this is also one of the things that when I was doing the research and stuff, that really stood out to me, because regardless of what happened back then, it's still impacting us today, because we're fighting for things, little things, but it's really a big deal. We might think it's so little, but it's so important. Especially also going to a HBCU, the word fighting and standing up for what you believe in is thrown around in all of my classes, little by little, and social work at that. As a social worker in the making, a lot of people would say that social workers don't do much, they don't do nothing, and things like that. But that's not it, and that's not true. There are social workers all over. You have policy social workers. You have social workers that are working in the hospital. You have social workers working for the president. Social workers are everywhere. And one of the main things that we have to do, especially African American social workers, is fight until we cannot fight no more. Most people think of social workers as people that just take people's kids away, but that's not it. Social workers are impacted in every shape and form, especially, when it comes to things just like these three amazing figures did. Whether it is with human rights, helping people get out of these sticky situations, or just being the person on the front line to keep fighting for a family, individuals, or for a community or organization. And I wanted to share my part on that because, like I said, as a social worker in the making that is about to graduate soon, thank God, it's like I'm not rushing the process. But it always used to hurt my feelings when people be like, social workers don't do much and social workers don't get paid much. And I just be like, you know what? When you have a passion for something, when you find your niche and your passion, you're going to do everything in your power to keep going and make sure you put on a good fight for it. My passion is to pave the way for children that have been dealing with things in their life that they cannot control, So I'm going to keep on fighting until the child gets the rights that they deserve, to get the things that they deserve. As well as when it comes to the policy social workers that fight for these policies, these social workers, that fighting for the rights, women's rights, men's rights, all this rights. Anything that you can think of, there are social workers in it. Financial social workers, housing, it's social workers everywhere. Don't trip up on the social workers. And the reason why I said social workers, because like I said again, I'm a social worker, and we are impacted with this because it's broadening to the horizon that there's more black social workers out there, which is amazing, because at first it was not many, but now it is. It's like, okay, they're fighting for a cause. No matter what cause they're fighting for, they're out there paving the way. So whatever you're doing in your life, career-wise or things like that, don't feel ashamed, because at one point in time I did, when people used to make comments about social workers this, social workers that. I don't care what you're doing in life, whatever position you're in, your position as a person that you are, you have the right to do and feel the way that you feel and fight for what you believe in. I don't care if you're fighting for a pay cut. I don't care. I'm not fighting for a pay cut. I don't care if you're fighting for a raise, fighting for better heat, whatever the case may be. Once you put how you feel on the line, your thoughts, feelings, comments, or concerns, and the person you address it to don't do it in enough time span, keep on fighting until they understand. And if not, you got to go up to the big boys. Sometimes you don't want to do that. Excuse me, but sometimes we have to put our foot down and be like, look, it's a serious matter. You might not take it seriously, but I take this seriously. Especially if a job or a duty or whatever you're doing to protect at all costs, as well as protect yourself, you got to put yourself out there. I don't care how big or small it is. You got to put yourself on that front line to show people around you that, look, sometimes people are scared or afraid. Trust me, some of us are afraid to put ourselves on the line because we don't like the spotlight. But sometimes, like, you know what, we got to put that pride to the side and really put our best foot forward because this is very important. And that's what these three figures did. They put their best foot forward and they did what they had to do, regardless. Of course, in life, you're going to come across people that's going to say and do some evil things to you. But you got to remember that you cannot match their energy. You have to be the bigger person. And once you become the bigger person, they might still pick your buttons, but it's our duty to make sure that they don't try us again. That goes for anybody. Whatever you believe in, you fighting for, things like that, do it because this is what you want to do. And this is important to you. Keep on fighting in that bus and that train, whatever, is going to keep on rolling. Because you making sure that you get everything that you fighting for comes to light. And I'm letting you know now, my friend, it's never too late to start. It don't matter how old you are or anything. Fight for what you believe. Your voice matters, as well as when it comes to voting. As you can see, your voice matters. Your vote matters. And you can't tell nobody what they can and cannot do, but you can encourage them to let them know that, look, excuse me, whatever you do, whatever you consider to do, whatever the case may be, just know that your vote, whatever you do, it matters. Whether if you do or do not get the results that you wanted, it goes to show that you put your best foot forward. And that at times, things happen. But long as you put yourself out there. And that's what these three figures did. They didn't stop after the first no or hit or whatever. They kept going until they seen the brighter things. Sometimes you got to deal with the hits, the bruises, the falling down, the knocking over, the threatening and things like that. Until you come out on top and you see that rainbow, be like, whew. Like when you come up for air out of a swimming pool. Oh, excuse me. So I want y'all to think about it. Keep on fighting for what you believe in. I don't care how big or small it is. I don't care what it is. If you feel as though it's something that needs to be addressed and it hasn't been addressed and you kept on telling people or things like that, put your best foot forward and take matters into your own hands. If you have a team that feel the same way, do it. And if not, your team is going to come one way or another. But always remember that this is your fight and you are the one that feel this way with or without a team. Regardless of what it is, you're going to make sure that this is done. And it's going to get done. With faith, the blueprint, having that blueprint right there, manifesting and putting in the work. As well as when it comes to, finally, why is it important to highlight lesser known figures in Black history? And how can their stories inspire future generations? Well, these stories can provide insight into struggles and success of those who have fought for justice and equality. They can also inspire the younger generation to continue to fight for what is right. By sharing these stories, we can enhance their legacy lives on. We can also use the stories to motivate people to take action and fight for their rights and all the rights of others. By doing this, we can create a more equality in just society for all. Stories pave a powerful way to educate people about important issues to motivate them to action. They can provide a reminder of the importance of standing up for justice and equality. By sharing these stories, we can inspire future generations to continue to fight for what is right and enhance that their legacies live on. This is like a lighthouse. It's guiding a ship through a dark sea. The light shines bright, enhancing that the ship stays on the right path. and reaches its destination. By sharing these stories, we can be the light, providing a beacon of hope for generations to come. Oh, excuse me, y'all. And the quote that I would love to end this off with is, their stories should be told to inspire generations to come, and hopefully forever will impact them as well. Whew, y'all, it was a lot, somewhat not. But I know it's like, it's kind of lazy, not a lot of energy, and that's my fault. I'm so sorry. As I'm sick, I'm so sorry. But I made it my duty to keep fighting. Is keep on fighting, to make sure that y'all got this Bible today, because this is so important. I hope you guys heard some parts and learned a little bit. And if not, it's okay, it's all right, because we also have the translated version on Words. So if you could hear it, then you can read it, and hopefully it'll help you understand a little bit more, as well as it can help you do some research as well. This is not how I wanted to enter Black History Month, but it's okay, it's all right. Things happen that we cannot control. But as always, I hope you guys learned something. If not, like I said, you gotta do what you gotta do. As always, guys, please be safe out here. Bundle up, go to the doctors, get them checkups, get yourself together, make sure everything is good, because the groundhog seeing his shadow, y'all. We got 6 more weeks of this mess. Oh, excuse me. So we got 6 more weeks of this mess. Y'all, I just cannot even wrap my head around it, because once I said 6 weeks, my head is like, 6 weeks. Yes, my friends, 6 weeks of this mess. As always, please be safe, be kind to others. Respect is something that we need to keep in mind, that is earned and not given. Please be nice to others, as well as others need to be nice to you. Keep on fighting for what you believe in, and keep doing what is right. I'm so sorry once again for how I sound, how I feel. I just wanted to get this vibe out today, because it's very important. And I didn't want to start off Black History like this, but it happened. I'll be better soon. So, in advance, I thank you all for your prayers and reaching out to me, to telling me, hope you feel okay and things like that. So, thank you in advance. For something else I wanted to say. There's something else I wanted to say, guys. It'll probably come back to me after I end this video, after I end this audio. But, as always, I thank you all for taking the time out of your busy day to listen to me. I'm sorry you couldn't watch me today, because E looks so bad. I did not want y'all to see me. So yeah, please be safe out here. Do for you, fight for what you believe in, and also love on yourself and protect yourself out of all costs. And I wish y'all nothing but the best. Love y'all dearly. Bye.